Hello, I'm Caroline Searcy. Welcome to the first spring edition of Bred to Win for 2025. It's an exciting time of the year for the breeding industry, with the anticipation of a new crop of foals on the way this time next year. Coming up on this week's show, we look at a growing region for thoroughbred breeding in New South Wales, the Southern Highlands, with a number of proven farms attracting families to this wonderful part of the world to live, work and play. And a favourite blonde around Arrowfield stud, Mango, the Cocker Spaniel belonging to Paul and Alice Messara in Cambridge Studs, Stud Dogs of Australasia. First though, spring has arrived and more good horses return to the track. Let's have a look at the highlights in our Oz Horse News. Huge investor in Australian and global thoroughbred racing and breeding, Yulong Farm owner Yusheng Zhang has had a weekend to remember, culminating in the naming of their elite flag bearer Via Sistina as Australia's Horse of the Year for the 2024-25 season, after the now 8-year-old mare notched up a record equalling 7 Group 1 successes in the season. Meanwhile, Caulfield was the setting for the weekend's only Group 1 contest in Australasia and featured another outstanding day on the track for the Yulong team.
Treasure the moment, 150 metres to go.
The highlight coming from their homebred triple Group 1 winner, Treasure the Moment. Now a 4-year-old mare, the VRC and ATC Oaks winner and Vinery Stud Stakes victor, was absolutely dominant first up in the Group 1 Memsey Stakes, signalling she's in for another sensational spring campaign. From a US-bred street cry mare, Treasure the Moment is by Yulong's CF4 Stakes winning son of Redout's choice, Alabama Express, who has covered over 220 mares in each of the past 2 seasons at Yulong's Victorian base. Alabama Express is from the same family as elite sprinter and Everest winner Giga Kick and stands this season for a fee of $66,000.
And Magic Time right down the outside. Gerringong's kicking, Miss Roombini.
Already a dual Group 1 winner of the Sir Rupert Clarke Stakes and the all-aged, another star mare, Magic Time, was another Yulong success. First up, having been bought privately by Yulong as a broodmare and racing prospect. Her win in the Group 3 Cochrane Stakes was her 7th stakes success. Magic Time was bred by John and Trish Muir at Milburn Creek in the Southern Highlands of New South Wales and passed in as a Magic Millions yearling. Her dam by Nakoni has also produced 5-time winner Cosmonova and was herself a winner of an SA Sires Produce and Cinderella Stakes. Sire of the Cochrane winner, Hellbent, continues to rack up stakes successes from his base alongside his champion sire I Am Invincible at Yarraman Park Stud in the Hunter Valley of New South Wales. Hellbent stands this season at a fee of $38,500. Another Group 3 winner on the program, Tycoon Star, was also a great result for both Milburn Creek and the Yulong team, who sold the Sharif Iskander-bred colt to Lindsay Park for $400,000 at last year's Magic Millions yearling sale. Tycoon Star was successful in the McNeil Stakes for 3-year-olds, having originally been sold by Milburn Creek to Yulong as a Magic Millions yearling. The McNeil success added to the always burgeoning stakes winners for his champion sire, Written Tycoon. Now aged 23, the son of Iglesias stands for a private fee at Yulong this spring.
Tropicus with 100 metres to go, firing on all cylinders.
Having featured Too Darn Hot recently on Bred to Win, it didn't take long for the son of Dubawi to sire another 2 feature race winners, as firstly Tropicus took out the Group 3 The Heath over 1,100 metres. The 4-year-old Entire is already winner of the Sedative Stakes and was bred by Kiora Stud and Partners, racing in the Kiora colours. Tropicus is from an Exceed and Excel mare who descends from the Aga Khan's K family. And it was a double for Too Darn Hot as the beautifully bred Too Darn Discreet added the Heatherly Stakes to her previous wins in the Edward Manifold and Ethereal Stakes. A homebred for successful South Australian breeder, the mare is from Maybe Discreet, herself a winner of the Group 1 Australasian Oaks, the Edward Manifold and 2 other stakes races from the family of Just Discreet and star broodmare ancestor Halo Again. Too Darn Hot, a son of European champion sire Dubawi from outstanding race mare Dare Me, stands at Darley Kelvinside in New South Wales at a fee of $275,000 after a single nomination to the stallion sold through the week for $255,000 through an Inglis online digital sale. Yulong's group winning successes carried through to Rosehill Gardens in Sydney as Grand Prairie won the Group 3 up-and-coming stakes over 1,300 metres. The race was marred by the sad loss of the promising Tyreek. The winner is another success for Written Tycoon and was retained by Yulong after failing to reach his reserve of $500,000 at last year's Inglis Easter yearling sale. He's from the I Am Invincible mare Vedora, who was bought for $2.55 million at the 2020 Magic Millions Broodmare sale as a winner of the Moir and the Winterbottom Stakes. The other feature on the day, the San Domenico Stakes over 1,100 metres, went to the son of Cosmic Force, Raging Force, for Scott Darby and his hugely successful Derby racing team. The 3-year-old has now won 4 of his 5 starts and was an Inglis Classic buy for Derby at last year's sale, sold for $150,000 by Mulliglass Stud. Cosmic Force, the son of Deep Field and a Roman Consul and Pago Pago Stakes winner, stands for a fee of $16,500 at Newgate Farm.
Chermat and Platinum Diamond have gone to the lead.
And in New Zealand, the Wanganui Guineas was won in good style by the daughter of Hello Yum Zane, Platinum Diamond, who's now bound for the New Zealand 1,000 Guineas. She's from the Thorn Park mare Spritz, descending from star 10-time stakes-winning mare Seamist, while Hello Yum Zane, an elite European sprinter and son of Danehill's 3-quarter brother to Invincible Spirit Kodiak, returns to Cambridge Stud in New Zealand this spring at a fee of $30,000 NZ plus GST. This segment of Bred to Win brought to you by Barristock, trusted by Australia's leading studs and backed by Kentucky Equine Research. Horses come first. Recently, Silverdale Farm owner Steve Grant combined with Thoroughbred Breeders New South Wales to hold a conference at Mittagong in the Southern Highlands of New South Wales, aimed at encouraging the local breeding community to attract more staff to the region. And Silverdale itself is a great example of what's on offer for staff in the Highlands, in one of Australia's most beautiful places, with so much on offer for the people who live there. Steve, we know here Silverdale Farm is an absolute showpiece within the Southern Highlands of New South Wales as a thoroughbred breeding farm, but it is also a place where a lot of people live. It's an incredible part of the world, isn't it? To not only be raising kids, but to be working, to be having recreation, whether it's sport or whatever else you want to do.
Yeah, it is. It is remarkable, and I think people totally underestimate it from 2 points of view, of the horse, for instance, but also from a staffing point of view. It's something that we, as you know, concentrate pretty heavily on, particularly with the Silverdale Academy, and we put a lot of work into educating younger people through our industry. And at the same time, we're looking at Silverdale to be an old-fashioned type farm where people live on the farm. We encourage that. A couple of years ago, we advertised for a couple to come to the farm. Both must work on the farm, and we were very happy to find Jared and Therese Jones. Jared's our farmer, outstanding. He does a wonderful job, and Therese has now progressed to the point where she's Rob's 2IC. They've got 3 kids, 1 born on the farm, and that adds to the 8 children that are being brought up here at Silverdale. It's a great place for kids. They're close to a lot of amenities. They've got great schools in the area. You couldn't better the schools as far as per capita. And you've got all sorts of sporting activities. Rob's kids go down to Nippers at Kiama. It's only 45 minutes away. That's just unheard of on most farms. It's well positioned for that sort of thing. You've got great medical and support, you've got a great hospital here, and you've got great community as well, with great restaurants and vineyards and things, as you do in a lot of places, but put it together, it's a pretty tough package to beat. And as far as the horse is concerned, well, probably the biggest thing we hear is it's so cold. But gee, tell me about Japan and other parts of the world where
Out in the snow, yeah.
where they're out in the snow, and the same as Kentucky and those sorts of places. New Zealand doesn't too bad too
Yeah,
for
exactly.
a cold climate. So yeah, we're really happy with the horses we're turning off. And now it's really just putting the icing on the cake and having those long-term relationships with staff, again, bringing the students through from the Silverdale Academy.
Yeah, well, this is the thing, isn't it? I mean, so many people are lamenting the lack of staff, which is why, of course, you've been running the Silverdale Academy, which has turned out some fantastic people in the industry. But it's also about, I guess, for you, you know, we see the turnover. We see people coming from overseas or general staff from the local community, and they don't stay in the industry. So what you're doing, I guess, is providing longevity for your workforce as well, which benefits the whole farm.
Yeah, it does. It benefits the farm and it also benefits the industry. It's something we're happy to do, and to help the industry focus on training. I'm sure everyone's noticed the fact of thoroughbred breeders have expanded their training. I know that's as a result of what we're doing, we're proud of it, and we'll give all the help to everyone we can. We're now talking with 2 interstate groups about training there as well. So to me, that sort of side where people copy what we do, great. More than happy to see that happening, because that was the whole scheme, is to change the industry's outlook on training young people and bringing them on through the industry. Some of the old timers had said to me, you know, you spend so much time on training, you know, they'll end up getting that good, they'll leave you. I said, well, worse than that, you don't train them, they're no good and they stay.
That's a great response, isn't it? And it is great seeing Rob and the kids and Lucy and, you know, watching what they're doing, giving these kids an enormously satisfying childhood with the space that's here and you know, as you said, all the amenities that are around and the sport and so on. But I mean, there's nothing better, is there, than having kids that have got ponies and having this space to grow up.
Rob's son Archie now is training for his cross country. Well, he's running around here of an afternoon and everyone sees him going in that. Rob supports him and runs with him occasionally, and he'll dodge you if you're going to talk to him because he wants to keep going, because you've got to keep up with Arch. But that's the good part of it. You know, I was very lucky to grow up in an area where we didn't have a lot of housing around us, and you had those open spaces to play in. You know, we do property development, and these days, yes, we do parks and all those things, but there's nothing compares to bringing up a kid in a rural setting.
So for other farms, you know, that might be thinking, oh, can we, you know, afford to have the staff, or, you know, and have cottages or have places they can live or houses, what would you say to them about, you know, the overall benefits?
Some of the best investments we've made. It's, you know, like if you get good staff and you retain them, it's a big, big saving. You know, you look at what it costs you to replace a staff member, to educate them again into your systems, and everyone turns up with, oh no, well, that's not how we do it. Well, unfortunately at Silverdale, that's how we do it. So it takes a lot of training and a lot of understanding the philosophy behind it all. Now, you know, we can't afford to be changing staff all the time. We want to make them very comfortable in their surroundings and give them a good life and make sure they've got nice residences to live in. It's not a hard formula once you get the hang of it.
Rob, the thoroughbred breeding industry is so reliant on people such as yourself. You know, you're obviously a professional at what you do and you've put so much into Silverdale Farm and obviously you're a big part, as all the staff are, of the success of this property. But in return, I guess it's wonderful that the industry and people such as Steve and Eliza Grant can offer you a home to raise your children. It's really special, isn't it?
It sure is, Caroline. No, we're very fortunate to be able to rear our kids on such a beautiful property. I was fortunate, I grew up on a dairy farm, so I grew up with plenty of open space and places to have a horse and ride and do all those sorts of things. And yeah, we're very fortunate to be able to do the same here at Silverdale. As it is at the moment, we've got 8 kids growing up on Silverdale, which is just fantastic, something that Steve and Eliza are very proud of, that they are providing that opportunity for kids to grow up in that rural environment, grow up with the right work ethic, with that hard work, and that work's a part of life, and a very normal a normal thing to do.
Well, Lucy, your wife, has worked in the breeding industry, worked at Glenlogan Park as well, and it's great to see that you can have this lifestyle. Tell us about the kids, and there's so much here, as Steve was saying, about what these kids can do, whether it's nippers or climbing rock walls, or what do you see are the benefits for them of living in the Southern Highlands region?
Yeah, well, just like the horses really, they've got room to grow, up and down hills all day long. Archie at the moment, he's training for his cross country, which is good for him and good for me as well. I get out there with him, and I know we're just very fortunate to have that land where the kids can have a pony, or they can ride their bikes around the farm. They come over to work here and help with the muck out. I'm sure that in time to come they're going to become even more useful than what they are at the moment. Anyway, no, we're very fortunate, and just our proximity, I suppose, to Sydney and the other regions really. And when Autumn Glow was starting off her career, I suppose, we were able to feed up in the morning and be in there at Rose Hill to see her run and win. And I have to admit that it did take me a couple of years to realise that the beach is only 45 minutes away, but it's been a great thing this year. The kids have both done, or two of the three kids anyway, have done nippers, and again we can feed up in the morning and be down there for a 9 o'clock start at nippers, and be on the beach and be back here again in the afternoon to feed up again. So it's a unique balance that's certainly not available to every young child, and they're very fortunate.
Well, tell me a bit about life in the Southern Highlands. What do you like about it?
That it's like a little bit cold, like we're used to it, and there's like winter soccer goes for a long time. We can go for long sprints around the farm and stuff.
And Edie, you like living here too. What do you like best?
I like the gym a lot because it's fun to climb up the rock walls.
Do you both do nippers?
Yes. We like when it's a very hot day, the ocean's cold, and it's like very smooth. There's no seaweed and stuff. We can go swimming, and it's real fun.
It's fun to go on the boogie boards, and it's fun for the waves to catch in.
Sometimes we've started to try to practice cricket at our house. That's working out good. And sometimes we'd play a bit of soccer, tennis, on the hoverboard, and our bikes, all sorts of things.
Do you enjoy cross country too, Edie?
I like how I train around the circle, and it's fun to do it with my friends.
And so tell me then about the ponies. So do you have ponies?
Yes. So we started off riding up at our grandparents' place, and then we came down here. And then we learned a lot up there, so now we've come down here and done lots of rides down here.
I like because you get to brush them and ride them.
We learn how to lead them, ride them, do all sorts of stuff with them, brush them, and then the grown-ups just walk them around the loop every day. And then if I'm at work, then I get to see how it's actually done. Then when I'm about a bit older, I could be able to do.
I like it because when other people do it, I can learn when I'm a bit older.
What do you think you might want to do one day?
Work like Dad.
So you'd like to work on a stud farm?
Oh, we are so lucky. We are very, very lucky. I loved horses and I loved the industry long before I was a wife and a mum, and it was very important to me to continue that first love that I had, which Silverdale just gave us the opportunity for me to work, for my husband to work. He's very dedicated and passionate about farming. And then being in the Southern Highlands, such a beautiful area for us, for our kids, so much to do for them, everything's close. So we get to do what we love every single day. We get to go home, spend time with our kids. Our family work-life balance is amazing. We're just so blessed with Silverdale, with the farm, really, and yeah, so it's pretty good for us, and we get to do it all.
Do you think many other farms could do this? I mean, there are lots of benefits to it, both for the staff and for the farms.
Oh, absolutely. I think if the farm had the facilities to employ a family, oh, absolutely, the benefits, it's huge, but yes, for the employer, but for us as a family to be able to work together, to have our kids on farm. Yesterday afternoon we went mustering cows after work. We get to do all of this with our kids because of Steve and because of Rob sort of having this whole family orientation. It would be great for other farms if they had the facilities to do it, absolutely. Yes, for the industry I think it would be really good as well, having more couples come in, you know, it's sort of longevity for the farm as well. So if the farms could do it, absolutely.
We're certainly playing a long game. We're trying to attract the best people that we can, and then ensure that we're providing fantastic facilities for them to rear their kids and be here long term and play a long term pivotal part in Silverdale and what our brand means. So Steve and Eliza have invested heavily in the houses that we've put here at Silverdale, but also the facilities that we've got here for the guys. We've got a functioning gym and rock climbing wall, and which all the kids all sort of love, and we've actually got in the pipeline a swimming pool and a bit of a clubhouse there with a pool table. So it is about ensuring that we've got that work-life balance. We work hard, but we want to make sure that there are things for people to do, nice and handy, and a good environment to grow and live.
It really is a great area to live and work, and the great professionalism in the thoroughbred breeding industry in the Highlands is also a great attraction for staff as well. Coming up on Bred to Win, a gorgeous strawberry blonde canine in Cambridge Studs, Stud Dogs of Australasia.
This is Mango Messara. Mango is a 3-year-old English Cocker Spaniel, and to say he comes everywhere with me is an understatement. He's definitely very much part of the family, and is just such a fun, loving, gorgeous little boy. He comes bike riding and horse riding, bushwalking. He's definitely energetic, so keeping him exercised is a big part of the day, but he's great. Mango probably is not really very well suited to the Australian bush. He, on our bushwalks and whatnot, he is into everything, comes back covered in burrs and prickles, and does love the odd horse trough. Regular baths are required in order to keep the blonde locks in good condition, maybe perhaps a little high maintenance like his mother. And being spoiled, does like to sleep in the bed with me. There is the odd occasion where Paul comes to bed and he is sleeping on Paul's side with head on the pillow, and does sort of look at Paul and say, listen, I think maybe you're sleeping in the spare room tonight. But, look, he's a good dog. Being an English Cocker Spaniel, they've got a very high prey drive, so that he's been bred to run, he's been bred to hunt and to go out all day with his companion, and so they're quite trainable, but they're very high energy. So you do have to get that energy out, and then he will listen. However, if there is a kangaroo or a rabbit or some other animal, or is on the scent, it is a bit see you later, and he will come back eventually, but he's gone. He's gone for that period. His favourite thing to do is go horse riding. That's his favourite. He sees the riding boots go on and he knows what we're doing, and he's very good with my horses. He really does see the horses as part of his pack. So, you know, I ride, I might lead one and we're out doing whatever. And I think the horses actually enjoy having him along as well, because he will go first and flush anything out of the bushes. And I think the horses, I mean, I might be imagining this, but I do feel like the horses get a comfort from, if you're going out bush and you're riding up in the hills, having the dog there is almost like they've got their own little predator to keep them safe. But yeah, he does love to go out horse riding and, you know, get amongst it.
What a little ripper is Mango, and you can see how much he's loved by the Messara clan. That is it for this edition of Bred to Win. Join me again next week as we catch up with well-known administrator and owner of Musk Creek Farm, David Cobritz, talking about the ups and downs of running a broodmare farm in the current environment. I'm Caroline Searcy. I look forward to seeing you then.